You've joined Prophecy Talk for analysis of world events and unfolding Bible prophecy, brought to light by prophecy expert and author Erika Grey of www.erikagray.com.
At midway through the tribulation, the Antichrist is killed and he comes back to life. Revelation 13:3 reads, "And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled and followed the beast." Zechariah 11:17 elaborates on the damage left after the wounds from the mortal wound. "Woe to the worthless shepherd who leaves the flock. A sword shall be against his arm and against his right eye. His arm shall completely wither, and his right eye shall be totally blinded." It is when the Antichrist is raised from the dead that Satan will most likely enter him, and he becomes the eighth head. When the Antichrist comes back to life with Satan having entered him, just like he entered Judas Iscariot, this is when the Antichrist becomes the eighth, which splits off from the seventh head. Revelation 17:9-11 reads, "Here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time. The beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th, and is of the 7, and is going to perdition." It is at this time that the abomination of desolation occurs, where the Antichrist stands in the Jewish temple in the Holy of Holies and declares that he is God, and places the abomination of desolation, which begins the Great Tribulation, which is the second half of the tribulation. This act confirms the 8th head and a second phase in his empire and its structure. In Daniel 11:36-27, it reads, "Then the king shall do according to his own will. He shall exalt and magnify himself above every god, shall speak blasphemies against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the wrath has been accomplished. For what has been determined shall be done. He shall regard neither the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any god, for he shall exalt himself above them all." We learn that, like the other heads of the beast image and their empires, the Antichrist too equates himself with a god. Only his proclamations of godship surpass theirs, and another reason for the two-headed feature of this empire. It is also while under the leadership of the 8th head that the whore of Babylon is destroyed, meaning that at that time all world religion, and especially the Jewish and Christian religions, will be annihilated along with their followers, and thus begins the predicted persecution of the church, characteristic of the Great Tribulation. Thus we see the 2 women of Revelation, the whore of Babylon destroyed, and the woman with the moon, the sun, and the garland of 12 stars, and the child in Revelation 12, flee to the wilderness and is pursued by the dragon. With Satan now ruling the earth through the Antichrist, he will demand worship of him alone. With each preceding empire, the woman has rode the beast, meaning that she has been part of the empire because each of the kings believed they were descendants of a false god. But the Antichrist destroys the woman as he identifies himself as God. Notice she is initially riding this particular beast, meaning that she does have something to do with it as it is being raised into power. And I have discussed this in detail in my books, this correlation. The question remains that with the 2-headed aspect of the final world empire, the revived Roman Empire, are the names of blasphemy that the Antichrist uses in the first half of the tribulation different from the second half of the tribulation? It is possible that the Antichrist might take a title when he gets into power or shortly thereafter that will be a name of blasphemy, but the blasphemies that the scripture speaks of is when he raises the final world empire to its pinnacle of power and stands in the Holy of Holies in the third Jewish temple and places the abomination of desolation. The seventh head, while influenced on by the whore of Babylon and her teachings in its rise to power, is in the end destroyed by the eighth head, as the Antichrist declares he is God above all gods.